Good morning, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How are you doing? I am Pete, and this is me. This is my job, Retrain Pain. I help people usually with pain, health problems, pain and health problems, and kind of help people get remotivated to get back to doing the things that they love in life. And often pain and injury and illness get in the way of doing the things we love. So if we can turn the volume down on those things, then we're more able physically and psychologically to go and do those things. Last night, you may or may not be interested. Last night, I went back to a swimming club, and I haven't been to a swimming club since I was 12. I am now 39, 40 next year. Obviously, though I could be 40 this year, 40 next year. So I thought, you know what? It's been 28 years since I have swum consistently. And I always loved swimming. And it was because I was a teenage boy and body image kind of came into it. And I stopped and I went to the wrong club. I left a good club and went to not such a good club, and I shouldn't have. Should have stayed at the good club, despite not liking some of the people there. Anyway, it's just a reminder that probably in your childhood, you were doing a sport or an activity that you liked. And at some point along the way, you probably stopped doing it for whatever reason. You developed a social life, you developed new habits, you developed new interests. But if you were to look back now at your childhood and you go, do you know what? I really loved doing that. Okay, whatever it was. And if you are not doing those things at this point in time, okay, maybe it's been 10 years, 20 years, 30 years since you've been doing that thing, whatever it is, running. It could be a sport, it could be just like a hobby to do at home, whatever it is. Okay? It is not childish to go back and do those things. Okay? Yes, maybe you need to do them in a slightly different way. Maybe you can only do them once a week instead of 2 or 3 times a week, which is what you perhaps really like. But I encourage you to do something towards doing those things. Okay, you will raise your enjoyment of life. And when we raise our enjoyment of life, aches and pains have a little tendency, certainly the serious ones, to turn down. Okay, not necessarily poof disappear, though they could through time and consistency. Do something you love. Okay, and initially when you first go back to it, it's going to be hard. My arms are killing me. Last night after about 20 minutes of swimming, my body started cramping up. After about 45 minutes of swimming, I had to stop because my leg just completely went. So, there's going to be struggle there initially. But go back to the thing that you enjoyed doing 10, 20, 30 years ago. I can promise you it will help. So we're going to get onto the healing of pain meditation. It's kind of called that because of SEO and titling videos. It might get more views. All of my meditations are about healing pain. All of my meditations are about healing the body and the mind, okay? Overcoming our beliefs and limitations. And pain, illness, disease are limitations of the mind. Limitations of the mind. And a lot of people don't like it when they say, when they get told it's in your head, okay? But if it's in your head and it is a belief, it is actually easier to fix. It's easier to fix. You go, hang on a minute, this is not real. This is a belief about illness. This is a belief about I can be broken. This is a belief about I can be sick, etc., etc. And we add on to that belief and we go, well, I need a supplement, I need a certain way of life, I need a pill, I need a form of treatment to heal that. Okay, so you further add into the belief. And if you have certain illnesses and diseases, that might be a lifelong thing. Okay, it might be a life-limiting thing. So where would you rather this thing be? Would you rather it be in your head and something that you have power to change? Or would you rather it be external and potentially be in the situation where there's nothing science and medicine can do about this? So some people get triggered by it's all in your head. And I think it's all in your head is actually a very, very good thing, because you can change what's in your head. You can change what you believe. You can change what you think. You can change your thoughts. Meditation is absolutely one of the best ways to do that. Having a coach, having someone to guide you, someone to keep you accountable to the things you said you were going to do, is another fantastic way of doing this. Okay, so it's not necessarily that there's lots of people who heal because they took supplements and because they changed their diet or they changed their habits. But a lot of the time, it's because either they were kept accountable by a coach, okay, or some authority figure, a partner, or even doctors included and medical professionals included in that. They were kept accountable and they did the work, or they kept themselves accountable and they did the work. Okay? But it was the accountability of sticking to a plan that you believe will work is the key. Okay, so sticking to a plan that you believe will work is the key. And I don't care what the plan is. Doesn't matter what the plan is. Put your faith in the plan. Do the plan. Achieve results. And if after maybe 3 months it hasn't really worked, well, then fine. Okay, you've got you can say, yes, okay, this plan didn't work. Let's do another plan. And maybe you've been doing that for years, but maybe it's meditation that you haven't tried. Maybe it's energy work that you haven't tried. Okay, maybe you've tried every supplement. Maybe you've tried or one Reiki session and it didn't work. Okay, or one meditation, or even dozens of meditations. Doing meditation on your own, it's hard to stay focused. So here we are today. We are meditating on pain relief, injury relief, healing the body so that it's back to its perfect state, which is the state that it should be in all of the time. Okay, injury, aging, and I'm thick coming from me because big sign of aging up here. They're kind of beliefs. Okay, we don't need to have arthritis as we get older. We don't need to have diabetes as we get older. We don't need to lose and thin our hair as we get older. I came to that realization after the majority of this has happened. And can I reverse it? I don't know. Have I tried? Not really. But can we reverse aging? Yes. There is even science about this. Elizabeth Blackman. It's a book on telomeres. Okay, telomeres. It's on my bookshelf. It's down there somewhere. Has shown that through lifestyle and habits, okay, stress relief, okay, so stuff like walking, exercise, eating differently, like on non-processed food, lengthens our telomeres. They go from kind of shorter to longer, okay, and we want them as long as we can. Okay, the longer the telomere, the lower our kind of genetic biological age. Funny thing. Again, last thing, we'll get onto meditation. I went to this guy I met through networking. He does a supplement company, and he takes some weights and measurements and plugs it all into your computer and goes, this is your biological age based on your BMI basically, and a few measurements. And I'm like, that's not really accurate. You can't measure someone's, I mean, I suppose you could have a good guess that this person will die younger based on height and weight and age. You could have a good guess at that, but it's not exactly accurate. It's not accurate at all. And I was like, okay. So anyway, turns out when I did that when I was 38, and my biological age came back as 32, and I do not have any supplements. I don't eat any supplements. I don't have a special diet. I'm not carnivore. I'm not vegan. I eat pretty normally. I eat some crap food. I eat mostly good food. That's it. So I don't know. Was it accurate? Who knows? Anyway, rant over. Meditation begin. So find yourself a nice space. Okay, sit down, get comfortable. You can sit up tall, you can slouch back. To me, it doesn't really matter. Do you think the universe cares if you are sitting up tall or if you are slouching or lying down? Does the light of your body travel any differently if there's a few extra corners to go around? No, it's light. It can go anywhere it bloody likes. So just breathe. Relax. Relax your shoulders, your face, your your knees, your ankles. This is meditation with a smile, by the way. It's doesn't have to be serious business. In fact, if it's a bit more playful, you're more likely to do it. So just enjoy. Your body will heal when it is more relaxed and it is less stressed. That includes muscle tension and tension in your fascia and ligaments and tendons and tension in the nerves and blood vessels and how all the goo travels around your body. Scientific words are fun. You don't need to know the science of your body. Okay. Honestly, scientific knowledge is just a way to impress people to say, hey, look, I know what I'm talking about. Look at me using all these fancy words. Just think back to the healers of the past. They didn't have scientific knowledge of any of these things. Perhaps they named some muscles and major structures of the body, but they didn't know about mitochondria and ATP and the triple helical structure of the collagen network we call fascia. It's tiresome. You don't need to know any of that stuff. Your body knows. The universe knows. And that is far more knowledgeable than your conscious mind will ever comprehend. It is almost a fool's errand to attempt to understand everything about the body. You do not need to. The one thing, though, about learning about the body is that you will learn that it's infinitely adaptable, infinitely changeable. Well, maybe not infinitely, but very changeable. that you can change it with thoughts that is electromagnetic, like a radio or your phone. And just like your phone, you can put apps on it and you can delete apps, you can uninstall them. Push of a button. Think of beliefs like apps. The belief of being sick. I'm going to uninstall that one. The belief of aging. Uninstall. The belief of pain and suffering and struggle. Delete that one too. If you feel like there's a place on your body, a point, that is the delete button for the things that you do not desire to think, believe, or label yourself as, press it. Okay, ask your body, where is my delete button for all the things that I do not want to believe anymore, that are untrue, and that I do not require? Something for me in my body is telling me it's the back of my head. So I'm going to press that now. Find where yours is and press it. Through pressing this part of the body, pain, suffering, illness, disease, and the belief that you can even get those things in the first place is being erased. Continue pressing it. It doesn't have to be hard. It could be any pressure you deem necessary. In fact, the less pressure, the better. Because you don't need to force it out. Simply a delete button. On your phone, you would not press the uninstall button harder because you got frustrated with an app. You just press it, tap, and it's gone. You might right now be struggling with the belief of, I can't just press this thing in my body and delete all these beliefs and things that I've had for decades, things I've learned since childhood of my mum and my dad and my aunts and my uncles and my friends and my family and my doctors and all the people who I read about. And all these things that I've seen and learned. It can't be untrue. And also, I can't just push this part of my body and delete it. What a load of nonsense. Okay, that is also a belief. I want you to know that you are connected to the universe, to all things, to all wisdom and knowledge. And that in that wisdom and knowledge is the ability to do this. Also challenge the belief that this takes weeks, months, or years to do. Okay, delete that one. Go back to your button. Pain does not take years to unwind. Your bones can reform smoothly. Your organs can regenerate in perfect ways. Your hormones and neurotransmitters can balance and come into a state of perfection. your muscle tissues and all other tissues related to movement, your tendons, ligaments, fascia, and all the other stuff that goes along with that, can reform. Muscle knots, adhesions, and scar tissue can just melt like wax without the need for painful massages or foam rollers and massage guns and oils and all the other things that we might use to improve the sensation and appearance of those things. Your chakras can align on a thought. Your meridians can flow perfectly in all directions, all across your body, on a different thought. Allow yourself to feel a feeling, whichever one crops up. Okay, the most important one to you. The one you feel you need to get rid of most. Okay, you don't need to think of the name of it. Allow your body to show you with sensation. Whatever sensations have come up are related to the emotion that your body is most affected by. And again, the emotion, the word, does not matter. Your bicep does not know it is called a bicep. And just like fear does not know it is fear. It is a physical reaction, and your body can feel it and sense it. We then label the physical sensations as an emotion. And then because we've labeled it as an emotion, we act accordingly. Oh, there's those physical sensations. Ah, that's called fear. Right, I'm not going to do that. Or I am going to do that. And that process happens in an instant. Before you've even felt the body and the sensations, you're already reacting. But becoming intentional, meditating, whether it's for 1 minute, 10 minutes, an hour, a day, however long you meditate for, helps you to put a gap between the physical sensation and the reaction. Initially, that gap will be microscopic. You won't even notice a change. You'll still react in much the same way. After a while, maybe a few days, maybe a few weeks, you start to notice a difference. Maybe you still react, but you stop much faster. Yeah, hang on a minute. I'm doing the wrong thing here. It's just a physical sensation I've misinterpreted as an emotion. And my body has gone into autopilot because when I feel that emotion and these sensations, this is what to do. We've created a program, perhaps in the default mode network of the brain, perhaps not. It is much easier for our brain to react than analyze and choose. So your consciousness at some point has gone, well, it's much easier just to do this. So it does. Much like it does with pain, suffering, illness, disease. Same. Belief. Just breathe and step away from those thoughts for a moment. Relax your body again. Your jaw, lips, eyelids, cheeks, shoulders, and then anywhere else where you feel tension. Often the tummy, chest. And sometimes hands and legs or pelvic floor. Don't even realize we're holding tension there. It's the expectation of pain that causes pain. Let's say you injured a shoulder, or exercised it in some way. Maybe you were gardening, maybe at the gym. And the next day, those muscles have tightened up because you used them. The nervous system has attempted to protect that muscle so that it can repair. So it's tightened it up and restricted movement in your shoulder. And then every time you move your shoulder, your nervous system says, hey, I don't want you to move that. Here's some pain. There's tightness there. Okay, when you exercise, here's another belief. When you exercise, we need to tighten things up, allow them to repair. It's full of lactic acid. It's full of toxins. When in actual fact, if the muscle was relaxed, the toxins would drain away much faster. And the intrinsic strength of that muscle is far greater than it would have you believe. The nervous system is constantly putting the brakes on. If you were to pick up a cup, let's say you look at a plastic cup. It's one of those cheap, flimsy little plastic cups. And you know through experience that if you were to pick up that plastic cup, you know how much strength to grip it with. You know how much strength in your arm and in your shoulder that you're going to need to use to pick up that cup. Just like if there was a 5-kilo weight, you would know how hard to grip using the muscles of your hand and forearm. You would know if you wanted to move it, which muscles to use and how hard they need to be contracted. And depending on where you needed to move it, muscles of your abdomen would help balance the body. Muscles of your legs would tense up a little bit. just to hold you upright and stop you from falling over. All happens on autopilot. Okay, so your brain is constantly adapting, your nervous system is constantly adapting your muscles to situations. And if you've learned that doing something is scary or hard or difficult or causes pain, your nervous system has gone, I'm going to stick the brakes on here and I'm going to stop you from doing that because I'm worried about you hurting yourself. And this is why exercise, lifting weights, and movement, gymnastics or martial arts, dance, are so powerful for alleviating pain. Not just because they improve your strength, but because they are informing the nervous system, hey, this is safe. You're allowed to use that much strength. And it just takes the brakes off a little bit at a time. It's just now mentally take the brakes off. You're driving around this beautiful vehicle that should be perfect, that should have no aches or pains, zero suffering, no illness, no injury, no disease. You're driving around in first gear with the brakes on and your foot on the floor for the accelerator. Take the brakes off. Put it into second or third gear. And you can now ease your foot off the accelerator. And that's the stress that you feel. You don't have to fight. Driving at 70 miles an hour, 80, 90, 100 miles an hour in sixth gear doesn't take much acceleration if the brakes are off. Yet we flap around trying to do 20 miles an hour in first gear, foot to the floor, brakes on, and wonder why we're sick. And despite taking all the supplements, going to bed early, meditating even, changing our diets and all the other good things that we can do, if we haven't taken the brakes off and changed gear because of our beliefs, it'll never change. Believe you can get better. Believe it can happen right now. Feel the natural energy of your body just coursing through every cell, not just your veins, literally every cell of your body. Every cell of your body is in constant communication with every other cell of the body. Okay. Our cells aren't just in communication with our nervous system and our brain informing us, trying to inform the conscious mind of something. They are in continuous communication with each other. Mostly they're neighbors, but the skin cell on my little finger can communicate with a skin cell on my little toe. They are really not that far apart. couple of meters at most. I suppose one of our biggest problems is that we think our body is stupid. It's just this lump of meat and bones and organs and glands. Our body is not dumb. Every cell contains an entire genetic code, and it uses a tiny fraction of that. Imagine all the information contained in that entire genetic code. It is an insane amount of information. And your body has that 50 trillion times over, plus the 50 trillion or so bacteria that inhabit your body. Perhaps even more. The entire knowledge of the universe is already in you, contained within each cell, each atom. It's all there. We just need to learn to listen and to allow it. You do not need to do anything. Although you still can do whatever you like. If you still wish to take medications and supplements and changing diets and doing exercise and 1,000,001 other things you can do for your health, you absolutely can. And do not stop anything that you believe is helping you. It is entirely your choice. But just take the brakes off. Allow the vehicle that you're in to freewheel downhill, go with the flow, instead of battling uphill and swimming against the current and any other analogy you might choose to throw in there. Pushing a rock up the hill. Because that's what we're doing with the brakes on. Just pushing a rock uphill. Never get to the top. And even if you did, you'd go straight back down again. That Greek myth is human nature. Ego nature, I suppose. That we need to constantly struggle to push this rock up the hill, day after day, night after night, throughout the entire lives. Who are we without the struggle? Okay. Or maybe without the struggle, we're just a person who can walk up a hill. You don't need to push the rock. Okay. And you can get to the top of the hill. The top of the hill is enlightenment, and you can get there. And in a state of enlightenment, there are no beliefs anymore. You have done away with the limiting thoughts, and you see only peace and love and joy in the world. You can see all the other people who have just forgotten who they are, what they are, forgotten that they do not need to struggle, forgotten that they've been born and raised in a system that is designed to make us fail. Step out of the system. And breathe a big sigh of relief. Take a deep breath in and let it out of your mouth when you're ready. Do 3 of those. Nice and slow. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Thank you for joining me today. I would just ask a favour. If you've made it for 41 minutes here, please leave a comment. What do you notice about yourself? Please like, subscribe, share. Do all those good things that social media wants us to do. That would be very helpful for me. And if you share this with somebody, maybe that additional sharing helps you too. So, I mean, don't do it selfishly, right? But, oh, if I share this, then I'm going to get more help. Oh, look at me, ego. Just do it because you think it would be nice to do for somebody. Share it with them. And if they use it, they use it. And if they don't, they don't. You've tried to spread some more peace and joy and healing to the world when you share these kinds of messages, whether it's mine or whether it's somebody else's. Have a great day. Have a wonderful week. Have a wonderful weekend. It's Friday for me. It could be whatever day of the week it is for you. I don't know. But cheerio.